The Kalapuya called Oregon's Willamette Valley home for thousands of years prior to the arrival of European American settlers. The most northern band of Kalapuya, the Atfalati, also known as the Tualatin, lived within the Tualatin River Basin, where as many as 24 villages were located. According to historian Robert L. Benson, some Atfalati frequented a marshy area near present-day Main Street in Tigard to gather the potato-like wapato plant. Another sort of gathering occurred near that same marshy area decades later. In November 1907, two groups of track layers met in Tigardville to drive the final spike connecting the town by electric railway to Portland, the capital city Salem, and small towns in between. The Oregon Electric Railway began passenger service on January 1, 1908. For the first time in Tigardville's 60-year history, residents could now reach downtown Portland in comfort, style, and ease. The railway built a modest train station where the train tracks crossed Taylor's Bridge Road in Tigardville. The train station was designated Tigard, not Tigardville, to reduce any passenger confusion with the adjacent Wilsonville stop to the south. Since Charles Tigard's general store and post office in Tigardville was about a mile north of the train station, a small business district serving train passengers sprung up by the station along Taylor's Bridge Road. German immigrant Adolf Shimoni established the first business across the street from the train station, a two-story hotel, restaurant, and dance hall named Germania Hall. In addition to Germania, the Shimoni family also built many of the buildings pictured here and operated other businesses into the early 20th century. The Shimoni's success encouraged other entrepreneurs to open businesses in Tigard. As shown here in this 1911 photo, perhaps the oldest of downtown Tigard, a grocer, barber, and smoke shop also lined Taylor's Bridge Road. Taylor's Bridge Road was renamed about 1917 when it was incorporated into Oregon's first highway system and became part of the West Side Pacific Highway. By 1918, downtown Tigard had grown considerably in 10 years and included more than 5 miles of paved road through town. Tigard's growth attracted the interest of the Beaverton Times, who spent a day meeting Tigard's downtown merchants. The reporter described these merchants and their trades as follows. Hugh Butler Tigard enjoys a good trade because of good goods, right prices, wide acquaintances, and a winning manner. Harry Kuehne is a young man but has built up a big business. He has a livery stable, a threshing machine, hay baler, several teams on contract work, and other interests that make him one of the county's prominent citizens. William Aris has a blacksmith shop equipped with all modern conveniences, and by his clever workmanship has won a place with his patrons which no other can fill. William Kruger, the genial barber, also runs a pool hall and confectionery, does a thriving business, and does his part making Tigard the city it is. Emil Johnson has a lumber yard with a stock of paint and building material. We just missed meeting the proprietor of the Bone Steel Garage and Warehouse, but the many complimentary remarks made by others show that this business is highly appreciated by Tigard residents and by the tourists who pass through. George Boland, general merchant, and Louis Mosier, the butcher, were both in Portland. We hope to meet them at a future date, for the stocks they carry show them to be progressive dealers. A year after the Beaverton Times feature, Tigard businessmen and farmers organized the First Bank of Tigard and elected Charles Tigard as president of the institution. The building was the first brick structure in downtown. The First Bank of Tigard was later acquired by U.S. National Bank and renovated to serve additional customers before a larger facility was eventually built up the street. The Tigard Business District expanded north of the train tracks in 1928 when Tigard Lumber Company owner Emil Johnson constructed a row of shops. As seen here, the Johnson Building housed new local businesses like Moat's Pharmacy and Gerard's Grocery. But in August 1931, a devastating fire destroyed several buildings, all wooden structures, that were among the oldest in the business district. The two buildings in the center of this photograph from 1911 were destroyed in the fire. The three businesses affected were William Kruger's restaurant, where the fire started, August Schubring's grocery, and George Davis's barber shop. Total damage was estimated at $15,000. The destroyed buildings were rebuilt in brick. This row of buildings still exists and today are nearly 90 years old. As Oregon continued to grow in 1940, the state's highway department constructed a viaduct over the railroad tracks in Tigard to modernize and improve traffic flow on Pacific Highway. These road improvements along the highway occurred throughout the Willamette Valley. Huge amounts of dirt were excavated nearby to construct ramps leading up to the overpass, as seen on the left side of this photo. Some existing buildings in the path of these ramps were moved, but the full extent is not known. The completed overpass, in effect, created Main Street and the downtown area we know and love today. In July 2019, artist Jeremy Nichols painted a public mural in downtown Tigard at the Fano Creek Trail. A walk through time beautifully reflects Western Oregon's native flora and fauna and honors the indigenous Kalapuya, caretakers of this land for centuries. Today, Tigard's historic and walkable downtown offers unique shopping, eating, and drinking establishments, as well as access to the Tigard Street Heritage Trail and Plaza, the Fano Creek Trail, and the Tigard Transit Center. There's something for everyone in downtown Tigard.